What's up, money growers? Jacob back here with another video coming to you guys today to talk about something definitely finance related. We're definitely talking about something money related, but it's a little different than just some of the credit videos I often do. But we're talking today about car dealerships, and particularly the no hassle ones. I'll put in quotes here in these dealerships, and really how one of the things that they sell is being no hassle, and the fact it's like the lowest price on the car kind of thing, but there are definitely ways that they can still try to screw you over. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video today. So guys, go ahead, hit the like button. This is one I'm sure some of you are going to have personal experience with. So if you do, tell me about it down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear if you had anything similar happen to you as some of the things I'm going to be talking about in this video right here. So thumbs up. Let's jump into this and talk about going to a car dealership, right, to buy. Now in my life, I bought several cars. So I've bought, I have bought on Craigslist before, so private party. I've bought just like a local small dealership before when I was like a teenager. I bought a larger dealership here in Vegas. I've bought the No Hassle dealership before. So yeah, about a handful of cars. So I've kind of got a little bit different experience in each realm, and oftentimes just depends on your option, what you want to do, right? Some people like Craigslist because they can get a better deal because they're buying from people who don't sell cars for a living usually. Other people just prefer the dealership, right, to get, the warranty and whatever the case is. It's your choice, right? Do what you want. So, but when you go to one of these places that's like a CarMax, and I've never been to one before, okay, but this was not a CarMax. The place I went to was not a CarMax, but they said, oh, we're a no hassle dealership, but same concept as CarMax. I've never bought from CarMax, but I know aside from the reviews online looking good, I do know several people who have, and they seem to like it. But I just went to this other place because they had, what I was looking for. So I was actually looking. I bought a Jeep Wrangler. That's what I bought. So I go there to this dealership after talking to some others and seeing around, checking another one, just getting a feel for prices and that kind of thing. And this one I went to, actually, they had three on their website I liked. But they all weren't there. They were sold, so they hadn't updated the website. So we looked at a few others that they had, and I'm like, okay, kind of cool seeing what's available in terms of their inventory. Even got to go look at stuff that they had that wasn't even out on the lot yet because they hadn't even cleaned it and done the inspection or anything like that. So one of the things with these places that the salesman, I remember talking to him, he says they just get a flat commission is the way it works for them, because he said they get paid the same whether they sell beat to crap old used car or whether they sell something brand new. He says they get paid the same. But they do, I think he said they have 2 tiers. It's a tiered system though, where if you sell X number in a month, then you get like basically a bonus on top of that, is what it is for a certain number of cars. So who knows, maybe it's actually better to shop at the end of the month because they could be just trying to hit some kind of quota or whatever the case is. But that's what he had told me. So it's not like other places who have this big markup and then if you pay sticker price on the car, which don't do, then the salesman gets a huge commission. When they lower it down, they reduce their commission. He says it's not like that, the no hassle places. So all right, that guy gets a flat commission. Supposedly, that's supposed to make it a little smooth, in the fact that to him it's supposed to be like no pressure or less pressure on you, the person looking to buy. Well, one thing they can do is they can still make other crap up, or they can manipulate things, lie about other things, or whatever the case is to try to pressure you into spending more money. One of those was, I asked the guy, this car we looked at this Wrangler, I'm like, how long has this one been on the lot? Because the ones I looked at on the website, several of them, like I said, 3 of them were gone. They were off the lot, so they'd already been sold. So I was like, how long has this one been sitting here? Just curious. He goes, about 2 weeks. And then later, when we actually see the CarMax, that thing had been out there for over 2 months. It was over 2 months. I think it was actually close to 3. It was out there when he saw the CarMax. We could see or the Carfax, excuse me, as for like how long they had the car. They had possession of that thing. Had been out there for a couple of months, not a couple of weeks. But he told me a couple of weeks. Why? Because it's to try to make it sound better, or try to make it sound like it hasn't been here that long. So you may want to actually try to jump on this deal, because he knows if he says, oh, it's been there for a couple of months, then people aren't going to want to buy it. But I mean, I wasn't that worried about it. I was just casually asking, how long has it been here? Because the other cars have been going pretty quickly. So he tells me, well, it's a couple of weeks. And later, I even said it when he told me when he got the Carfax. I'm like, oh, so that's way more than 2 weeks. I know it was like closer to 3 months. So yeah, they can still pull stuff like that. The whole, no pressure to buy thing. Because I was in there and I was looking at the Jeep I wanted. from after between going to here and looking at different places around town. So I go in there and look at the Jeep that I want. And I was like, I said, let me sleep on it, because of course they want you to buy, right? They're selling, right? And don't necessarily blame them for that. They want you to buy. Any place is going to want you to as a potential customer. So my guy said, I'm going to sleep on it. And, they did offer, they're like, hey, we could let you, take the car for 24 hours. Kind of thing. And I've had dealerships do that before because my credit score has been good, so they're usually willing to do that for me. But anyway, I'm like, okay, I'm going to sleep on this, see how much I like it. And the guy's like, well, there is no pressure to buy. He's like, but if you want, we can put down a $500 non-refundable deposit to hold the car. So, and he says, if you want, you can use a credit card, which I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, but if it go, I'd like the car, but if somebody else bought it tomorrow, I'm not going to be completely crushed, right? So it's one of those things where it's no pressure, but it's like, well, if you want to hold the car, then it's going to be a $500 deposit just to hold this car that had only been out there for 2 weeks. Also, when it comes to the loan, right, we do make the finance people, oh gosh, they can lie about numbers on the loan. Lie about it or just not give you the actual numbers or just not put a complete number on there, which is interesting because my credit was really good. So they came back and they're like, hey, we'll give you, because the last car I bought, they gave me a 3.5% interest rate on the car, or on the loan. And, that's pretty damn low. So this place was like, okay, well, we can give you 75 months at 3.45%, or we can give you 84 months. And all it said was at 4.9. I'm like, and it's funny because as the math breakdown there, I said, well, why does this one say 3.45 and this one says 4.9? Is that 4.90? Is that 4.99? Is that 4.95? What is that? So I'm glad I said that because then I did the calculation. He goes, they basically try to charge me an extra $8 to $10 a month on my monthly payment. And we already talked about what I wanted my monthly payment to be. So with this 4.9, whatever digit is after that, there's an extra $8 to $10 a month. So which is going to be about an extra, what was that? About $1,000 over the life of the loan if I went with that 84 months at 4.9 whatever. So I'm like, this isn't the payment we talked about, and this is going to cost me more total than what we had talked about. And of course, sales goes, oh well, let me go talk to the finance and check with them and see what this number is. You do this for a living. You do this for a living. So you're gonna, how can you leave off that digit and then you expect me not to do the math, So then the finance manager comes in. I told him, look, dude, I just did the calculation myself. This is the amount per month that we said we had agreed to here. So why is this, higher on this? It's going to cost me more money. And then he goes, okay, well, so you want this amount per month? I'm like, yeah, that's what we've talked about. And then he goes and comes back and just like that, magic. I got the number I wanted per month for the payment. So, and they just adjusted it to being 4.9, whatever it was. I think it was a 4.99 or 4.95, and they brought it down a little bit to get the payment to where it was supposed to be from the get-go, which we had talked about. But, I just think about that because it's okay, I'm glad I actually was assertive and said something about it because I would have been paying more over the life of the loan. And, it wasn't what we had agreed to. So, just think of how many people the dealership that come in and buy, and the dealership just hopes they don't say anything. Because if they have, this loan, they can get an extra $500, $700, $800, $1,000 or more, just depending on the situation, out of someone over the life of the loan because they didn't look at the numbers closely, or they just don't they just don't like to negotiate. They really hate any kind of confrontation or any kind of friction in their life. They just really shy away from it. They're just very unassertive, very passive. Think how much money dealerships can make off of that. People who just don't say anything. When you look at it and you're like, these aren't the numbers. Why don't these numbers add up? When I do my calculation and the numbers are different on your calculation, why is that? So that's another way they can definitely try to screw you over. The another thing too is if they offer you something like the add-ons like gap insurance or whatever it is, whatever price they're going to add or they're going to ask you, oftentimes you just tell them no right off the bat and then they'll come back and just give you a lower price. So you tell them no initially and then okay, well, what if I could do for this much? Then they'll bring it, it's oh, and so now it's so if I said yes up front, again, if I had just been you know, I guess nice and just played it and just like, oh yeah, sounds great, I'll take it. Like you were gonna give me, you know, you were gonna charge me more, but the fact I was like, no, dude, I really don't want it. Like, what if I bring it down to this price? Like, bring it down a little more, then we can do it, right? So it's just one of those things where you go in there, you know, even though it's no hassle and yada, 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 it's supposed to be less stress and less pressure, there's still ways that they can pressure you. There's still ways, or they can try stuff to try to trick you. And if you don't look at these numbers, if you don't make sure that you're like, no, we said this, not this, and that kind of thing, it truly costs you more money. It could cost you more money over the years. So yeah, you're gonna go in there, they're gonna try to sell you, and they're gonna try to get you to buy more than you need. You have to go in there with the mentality of you got to be a bit more assertive than maybe you are in your personal life, because you know you're making a transaction, you're making a business transaction. You're not necessarily there to make, you know, best of friends and that kind of thing when it comes to buying a car. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. It's a little different video than I normally do, but when it comes to how places can screw you over, I think this was a good one to talk about, because for a lot of people who look to buy a car, they've probably been through something similar, or I'm sure there's some horror stories and some nightmares out there. So thanks for watching, guys. Please tell me about your experiences with this down below in the comments section. I would really love to read those. That's gonna be it for this video. I will see you guys again soon.